Well, can you tell us about the creation of the band? Like, how did you guys meet?
So I actually knew the two individuals standing next to me for some time, and so when the project started in 2018, I went ahead and was like, all right, let me see who could get into, there was a lot of members that came in and out, but Braxton was one of the first people I hollered at to come in, and then Satchel eventually came in a little bit down the line, so it's pretty...
Yeah, I've been seeing Naya around at shows for years, so we just had a camaraderie. We had like bands and stuff together, so it all just worked pretty easily. Yeah.
Satchel and I, we know each other from some years, just going to shows and stuff. So
okay,
very loose,
And I had a question about, was it the music that first created the opportunity for you to share your political engagement, or was it first the political engagement that made you want to do music?
I think it was just music, period. I don't think that necessarily I wanted to even get towards having a political engagement. That just kind of happens sometimes like that. So.
And how do you think it happened?
Going on.
I mean, there's just I don't know.
It just happened. It feels like it just happened. It feels like
we're raised, how like what we're surrounded by.
Yeah.
Like where we
We're
live.
we're kind of conditioned that way. If you come from
it's like innate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of us we grew up with that understanding, and a lot of people don't have to grow up with that sort of understanding. So, yeah.
And for the people who don't know you, how would you describe your music? What does it say?
Or how did you describing the music?
Yeah.
Okay.
Describe. Yeah, you go first. You go.
I have a heavy and abrasive but fun. That's what I was saying. Definitely.
I mean, same. It is. It has a lot of messages inside of it, but ultimately, it's the expression of love and joy and happiness. Ultimately, something that we try to strive for within our community, and trying to build a community with those key points. So that's what a lot of the music is about. I would say.
And what would you say are your main... Oh, sorry, you had something to...
Empowering music.
Okay.
That's what I think. I hear that.
And what would you say are your main influences, individually and as a band?
For like for the band?
Yeah.
For me, Entombed, this band Entombed put out a record called in Wolverine Blues. They I love like the riffs on it. That, ACXDC, Weekend Nachos, and like this band Righteous Pigs, just like grind and power violence type stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Likes of that. Likes of like Trash Talk. The likes of Ceremony. A lot of those West Coast like power violence Jason bands. But outside influences, maybe as a collective, a lot of it comes from jazz, comes from reggae, comes from soul, comes from funk.
A lot of funk, for sure. Funk and R&B.
R&B, all that, hip-hop.
And so it's very diverse. So how do you do to make it into one piece? Like, for example, in the album, we can hear many influences. So how do you make it all work?
We all have so many vast influences that it just works. Like we all work together in a way that makes it like come out in a cohesive way. I guess you can say, because we all like the same stuff, but we all specialize in different like avenues. I guess you could say.
Wait, what was the question? What was the question again? It was like.
I was saying that you had many different influences, and so I was wondering, how do you make it work so well, because it's so diverse?
I think we have an understanding that there's different kinds of people in the band, so we all try to like put it together into one, try to utilize the different kinds of people that are in the band, and just figure out where their part is in the band.
Okay.
Because of all that, you get this conglomerate, this nice piece of work that just can go anywhere with it, and it will go anywhere with it because, you know, there's no limit to that. There's no limit to what anyone in the band can do, and with everyone's collective abilities, it allows us to be able to just, in lack of a better words, just flex the skills that we have, you know what I mean?
We established early on an eclectic mix of sounds to the point that we can pull from anything and continue to just do anything. We're not really in a box, which is what I like about being in the band.
And so can you talk to us about how you work together? Like basically you put out an album. How was the creation process behind it? Like what did you start with? How did it go?
Sending riffs to a group chat.
Okay.
And then he plays a lot. He plays like drums and bass and drums and then guitar and everything. So sending riffs to a group chat, here's send a riff with a drum part or something, or like a bass lick or something. Like mostly like, I mean, we met up, but a lot of it was like via like the group chat, like texting and stuff, like sending voice memos and stuff like that.
It's kind of haphazard sometimes with how it is basically
Because you don't live near each other, so you had to work kind of remotely, or it's just because it's just how you work?
No, some of us live near each other, but that's kind of how, some of us don't, so that's kind of how it did. Me and Satchel met up a lot during the demoing process and demoed out a lot at my house or his house. So it was, it was kind of just like that.
Okay. And so the album begins with Africa, and the album cover is a reference to African art. Can you talk to us about this homage you did to Africa?
Well, it's the motherland. It's the place where we trace back all our ancestry. The album cover itself has a bunch of different meanings, but ultimately what you see at first is the celebration of an actual celebration of people that celebrate the people that died in the Middle Passage, you know, during the transatlantic slave trade. So there's people under the tree dancing, there's the offering of the food that you can see in the middle, and then there's people up in the front that's the most prominent. And so they do have those celebrations still to this day. But there's the setting sun and the rising sun, whichever one you want to, however you want to look at it. I like to look at it in both ways because we get to set the sun on all the negativity and hate and bigotry, and hopefully come together collectively as a community through Pan-Africanism. And it's a new day, a new tomorrow. It's really it just comes into the whole name of the record. So it's kind of, you know.
And so on this same record, there are, so as I said, different styles, different genres, just like Shine Eternally, which is quite different from the rest of the album, so which is far from hardcore. And what was your purpose when you put it out? When you create music, do you want, as we said previously, show the different music that you like?
Yeah, and we wanted to do that on this record especially. And so that track, I remember when I was coming to the band about it, and I was talking to Satchel about how I was trying to imagine it would sound, and he came up with that riff, and I was just like, yeah, that's that riff, and we were just like, let's do it. It was really a lot more simple than just that, but it wasn't as complex to come up with it and to get out of the range of playing hardcore. So I don't know if you got some words.
Yeah, that's all.
And so, what would you say when you work? Do you say the music comes pretty naturally, just like when you heard that riff? Or does it take more work from you? Or does it depend from one song to another?
Depends.
Depends?
Yeah, definitely depends.
It depends. So for like a song like that, you know, obviously we're like, all right, we wanted to sound like this, we wanted to have this vibe, and so we just went with that. And that kind of goes for most of the music, but obviously for the heavy stuff, it varies.
And so more recently you put out a Slipknot cover, Wait and Bleed, and why did you choose this song in particular?
We were figuring out what we wanted to do, and I think we just realized that was the one, probably. Yeah, I wanted to do I forgot what I wanted. I wanted to do a Napalm Death cover, something, but he was like, yo, we should do something that would last test of time, something that will like people will resonate with. And I was like, I feel that. So we all decided on Wait and Bleed. But then it was boiled down to a few Slipknot songs, and we couldn't decide which one we wanted to do.
We all like Slipknot, so that's really
I can understand. And I had another question about the video parts of the band. Like, we can find your videos and your labels on the label's YouTube channel, but not on yours. Why this choice?
Oh, that's just all the videos just get put out.
And how do you work on these videos? Like, is it somebody who does it for you? Are you still involved in the making of it?
Yeah, we're still involved. Dez
helps out a lot. Yeah, Dez helps out a lot. Directing and filming and everything.
But I try to come up with the concept for it, and Dez is really good at fleshing out some of those ideas. The last video we did, we had this director named Malachi come on, and she directed it, filmed it, all that. So yeah, just bringing on people that we trust to do it. But usually we just do it ourselves, you know.
And so, how did you find this person that you trust and that you can easily work with? How did you meet this person?
Oh, I don't even remember how I met Malachi. It's just I met her somehow, and this is just for the last video. Usually, like I said, we do our own stuff, but yeah, she just I think she just hit me up, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm familiar with your name and some of the work you've done. So I was like, yeah, and she's awesome. She killed it. She absolutely did an amazing job with the video. Probably would do another video with her at some point in the future. So.
Okay. And so, can you talk about your future projects? Is there anything coming soon that you could tease us?
No, we're just touring right now. Nothing, no projects just yet, but just touring, and a lot of it.
A lot of shows, a lot of touring for sure.
So, how is it going so far for you?
Sick. It's a blast. Yeah, it's amazing. I couldn't put it in the words.
It's been a great year. It's been a great year so far. So.
Well, I hope the next year will be the same for you.
Thank you.
Well, it's the end of the interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.